Welcome to another episode of Between the Glass Padel Podcast. Today we're joined by Anthony from the British Padel Awards, and we're going to talk all things about the awards and all things paddle. We're 3-4 days out since the event finished, so we thought it'd be great to have you on.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for
talk about everything that went well, all the stuff that was a little bit more difficult to do, and just find out where the vision come from and where you see it all going. So first of all, thanks for coming on.
Michael, thanks for having me, mate. It's a pleasure.
No problem at all. So first of all, let's just start right at the beginning. Yeah. Where did this vision come from?
Yeah, I mean, like many people, I was just, your average player who was giving paddle a go. I first played it on a family holiday in Rhodes with my brother-in-law. We didn't have a clue what paddle was. We got onto the court and hired the rackets. I think we was on a doubles court and there was only two of us. So that
right, yeah.
so there you go.
Good workout.
Yeah, 28 degrees.
Wow.
And, somehow we kind of got the gist of the sport over there. And then a couple of people who were staying at the resort joined us for a game. And then we picked up a bit of a momentum during that couple of weeks. Got back to Liverpool, which is where I'm based. And I started looking for the nearest court, as you do. I was already hooked. They do say it's addictive. And Liverpool Cricket Club down in Egbert was where I found as my local court. I think that it was a game for paddle site. And got playing down there. Joined some open games, the WhatsApp group, as you do. And then, I was playing regularly, probably about two times a week.
When was this? When did you, what?
This was last year, probably May.
Right,
Yeah, last year, May. And I then decided I was going to hold a tournament. Still knowing nothing about the sport, but I decided to hold, I'm pretty sure it was the first paddle tournament in Liverpool.
Wow.
So it was 40 players.
Yeah.
I have a clothing brand separate to everything else that I do. And Revlu's the name of the clothing brand. And I decided to host this tournament by Revlu.
Right.
So we were hosting it, managed to drum up 40 players who signed up. And I got Jo Patterson.
Yes.
Jo Patterson, we were connected on social media and she came up and facilitated that tournament for me. And you know what? It went really well. And then I was hooked, got the bug for it. I started heading down to other paddle clubs in the Northwest down in Manchester. So your Pure Paddles and your Hook Club and different places like that. At that point I was playing quite regularly.
Yeah. So were you playing was that tournament all done at Egbert, was it?
That was all done. I was just back to my open matches.
Yeah.
I was doing quite a few pop-up events at different paddle clubs. I was heading up to Surge Paddle in Leeds,
right, yeah,
in Harrogate, and started, being present at a few more out of the Northwest as well. And this was when I quickly caught on to how widespread the paddle bug was spreading. So I was on social media and I could see even down in London how courts were popping up and different clubs were emerging everywhere. And I am a bit of an entrepreneur, always have been, have some very crazy ideas. My wife will probably agree with me.
Rather insane.
Yeah, absolutely. And I started looking at paddle from more of a business perspective and thinking, if everybody's so crazy about this sport and everybody's doing different ventures, they've got clothing brands, there's podcasts, there's coaches, there's adaptive players, there's racket suppliers. I thought, where is the platform that allows everybody to be able to celebrate what they're doing? Where's the recognition platform? And I've done a bit of research and there were a couple of things floating about, but nothing that was really a staple recognition platform. And I decided to create the British Padel Awards. I could have done it for the Northwest. We could have started with a Northwest Awards, but I thought, go big.
So when did that idea come to, timeline wise? Where were we looking?
So started playing in May. Well, it was actually late July.
It's pretty early on from playing.
Late July 2025 was when I had the idea. I set the page up at the start of August.
Wow, okay.
And then I went in the kitchen where my wife was working from home and I said, I think I'm going to probably launch an awards for paddle.
Yeah.
She looked at me like I was, had a few screws loose. And, she didn't really see that vision then. But yeah, that was the idea. I'd launched the page. I had 0 followers on the page at that point. I just started connecting with all of my network that I had through the clothing.
Sure, yeah.
And then I made an announcement and said British Padel Awards. I booked the Crown Plaza initially in Liverpool on the Albert Docks.
I was going to touch on that, yeah.
That was the initial, that was the original venue. And I put the date out there and, I think it got about 32 likes, I believe, from people in the paddle world. And I think there were 1 or 2 comments, but it wasn't nothing outrageous. It wasn't like a swamp of people came in and said, wow, we're ready for this. It was more a case of, okay, let's see what this is about.
Mm. Yeah, so I first saw the event, obviously. So I got into paddle in September. Yeah. And same as you, addicted immediately. And then following everything on the socials. So it was before, obviously, we come up with doing the podcast. So just on my own personal. So and I come across it. And I seen it was in Liverpool. Yeah. I thought, I've got to go. I've got to go. So me and Ben had registered the interest because you had a thing we did to register interest. So we registered interest to go in and we were like, we'll go Liverpool. Brilliant. And then obviously it sort of started to snowball. You could see the page growing.
Yes.
The people interacting with it. I don't want to be that bit. I knew you were going to change venue.
Really?
I knew it was going to be too big.
Okay.
The event was going to be too big.
That early on?
I got a feeling.
Okay.
So...
your foresight's better than mine then, because I didn't.
The feeling I had was that there's 2 sort of major hubs of which you were going to host an event, and it's either London or Manchester. That would be my thing. So I sort of thought it could move.
It could get bigger.
And it maybe if it wasn't necessarily for the first year, but I thought it won't stay there.
It won't stay.
Thing. So that's where I thought. But then obviously pushing on to you then in terms of...
Well, there was 2 risks with that. I mean, the first one was a lot of questions. The same question I kept getting asked was, why Liverpool? Because at this point, it wasn't like Liverpool was booming for paddle.
Sure, yeah.
We're still, we're getting there now.
Catching up.
Yeah. But so because I resided in Liverpool, that seemed the easiest from a convenience point of view, going back and forth to the venue to sort things out.
Yeah.
But, from a paddle being present and in that city, well, it didn't really make too much sense. The second thing was, I didn't have a database of contacts to spread this message out to. I went out on a whim.
Yeah.
I put it out there with the hope, hoping and praying that people were going to look at it and think, we want to be there. So yeah, there was 2 kind of big risk factors really for where I was doing it.
Yeah.
And the contacts that I had to push this out. So yeah.
At what point then did you realise, this is going to be too small a venue?
That was when we were very soon we were going to be putting tickets on sale. I think we were a week before we put tickets officially on sale.
Yeah, because you've done a live on Instagram, didn't you? I jumped on it because when you were announcing the new venue.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, week before that, we were looking at the and when I'm saying we at this point, it's me. I'm talking. It's me.
We as the award.
Yeah. I was looking at the reception, and I could see that we were also, bearing in mind we hadn't announced finalists at this point.
Yes.
We had 136 finalists to announce.
Right.
The venue could only hold just over 400.
Yeah.
And I knew that when finalists start submitting their finalist forms, well, if they are finalists, naturally you think, right, first one, I'm a finalist out of all of these people.
Yeah.
I've been shortlisted. I'd love to bring my friend along, or I'd love to bring some of my family or some people from my club.
Yeah.
And I thought, if all of these 136, for instance, were to say, I want to bring a person, we're still not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
We'll be well over the capacity. So it was I had to make this real executive decision and just say, look, do I take a chance and change the venue and get a bigger one with the hope that more people will come and we'll have a bit more of an influx? Because it was a much more expensive venue as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah. We'll
so
go on to the venue in a bit.
Yeah, so there was a lot of implications around it. But you know what? I just thought, let's do it, because I had a good feeling about it. I thought there's more interest here than I realised.
Yeah.
And we changed the venue to Victoria Warehouse in Manchester.
Yeah.
And that started to make a lot more sense to people as well for where it moved to.
Yeah, so just to touch on that, I mean, I attended the awards and the venue was stunning.
Thank you.
So, and this isn't because you're on the podcast, because there'll be a couple of bits I'll chat to a bit later on where I think you could improve on, and just my opinion on whatnot. Yeah. But I thought the venue was absolutely stunning, perfect.
Good. Yeah.
And the way it was dressed was, again, a next level of what I was expecting. Okay. So it definitely had that wow factor. And from the conversations and everything I heard from everyone else was exactly the same.
Yeah.
When I went back on the room, it was like, whoa, this is superb.
And that's it. I mean, you've got to remember, when I first visited this venue, well, every time I visited this venue, right up until the day that it was being dressed, I'm walking into a warehouse of, concrete floor, brick walls, no lighting, nothing. So you've almost got to be a bit of a visionary as well to be able to walk in a room that big and think, I know how this is going to look. And if you probably can't see that, it's going to be very hard to understand it. But yeah, I mean, the feedback we got, obviously everybody's got different tastes when it comes to aesthetics. And some people don't like that rustic feel and exposed brick, where others do. But the feedback we got was that, the way the venue was dressed was brilliant.
Yeah, no, it was, like I say, it had all the wow factor. The venue in terms of having the part where you're going on a red carpet and obviously Instagram photos everywhere, and we'll put stuff on now so everyone can have a little look at the venue and everything. So we'll attach that on. But you were going on, it was great for the photographs. And then obviously the first part where you go into and have a drink and wait before, brilliant for everyone to sort of mingle and integrate. And obviously the different companies with their little pop-up stands and stuff like that.
Activation stands were brilliant.
Yeah, superb.
A big shout out to them, by the way, because again, the activation brands that came on, I think we had Pedici, we had Polko, we had Pelair, we had Vibora Hydrates.
Yeah.
We had Halo Corporate Finance. And you know what? All of them made that event as well what it was, because, people got to engage and have samples of the electrolyte drinks and look at custom racket bags. And, it was just brilliant. So great for networking.
Past that time, didn't it? And sort of integrate everyone just to relax before they got into the main room.
That's it.
I'm really bad here because I can't think of a name, but the hostess she was outstanding.
The front of house.
So when we were coming in,
Sarah,
that's it. I messaged her on Instagram.
Did you? Yeah.
Thought she was unbelievable.
Big shout out to Sarah. She's now part of the British Padel Awards team. She's ready for the next one.
She was brilliant.
Real bundle of joy, great personality, but the perfect person we needed to be the front face, that when you walk in, you're greeted by a real friendly person who makes you feel welcome. So
and also created order. So from your side of it, she's that nice, but come on. I'm not going there yet.
There were moments in that night where she kept me sane and said, listen, don't worry, I've got it. You just relax. And she really handled things.
Yeah, it was great. So the way the evening sort of went, so for anyone that obviously wasn't there, was we arrived early. We were early. We were early. So we were there like 5:30, but obviously it was to enter around 6:00.
Yeah.
You go in on the red carpet, get your photos done and everything with all the background and the award stuff on there, and then go into the other area where we was champagne and like you say, got to see all the activation products and all that. And then it was to go into the main room, and at that point, I might have sneaked a look before, but no one should have.
A few people
no one should have.
I didn't notice that.
Say the grabby guy. Get away from that.
We're going to put a padlock on the door next time.
So, and obviously it was all the table numbers were all laid out. Dead easy to find your table, all that. And once that went back and you looked at the venue, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then you greeted with your starters were already out as well for the meal and everything.
And as you can imagine, an event that big with 500 people. It's bearing in mind you've got 21 awards to get through. You've got speeches, you've got entertainment, you've got the charity announcements and the silent auction. There were so many elements of that night that we needed to make sure that it was a very strict timeline.
Yeah.
And we needed to schedule everything. So them having starters out for when people came in these were all little factors that helped the night to run smooth.
It's all little attention to detail, isn't it? That other people aren't thinking of. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so we sat down, and then obviously it started into the award ceremony. And this is probably the part I would give my feedback on.
Yeah.
So from the award side of it, I would say that it's tough because there's a gauge between it being too long, but also giving enough for it. So for me, it felt a little bit too rushed. Yeah. But because it was rushed, the engagement wasn't as there. People were all chatting within their own tables. So do you know, in between there was like on the screens you had like the pop up of the different brands, and it was that looked unbelievable. So I would have maybe, and this is just an idea. Tell me.
Let's hear it.
So was as you're announcing the nominations, is like a 10-second clip of their brand, or like a little
like you'd see on the TV with
just something to make everyone engaged to look at. And so as they're announcing them, and then I wouldn't have minded sort of not long, but like a 30-second, just whoever we'll chat with every winner. I know if there was a couple like that I'd done a speech, but just with everybody, just to sort of really hone how good it is of an achievement to win.
And as you can imagine, again, some of these things, by the way, that you've mentioned, we explored, and we were going for initially. I think it was a fine line between going for it and then also the risk of really going over time. So there's so many different things we're looking at for next year that we're going to change around, we're going to add in, make as new additions to the program. So I think you can expect to see some of those elements that you've mentioned in next year's. I think for the first one, I think we played it safe with quite a few things and just thought, let's just be able to say that we've launched a Padel Awards, because there isn't one at the moment. And
well, can I caveat that with that's probably my only sort of little bit of a critique.
It's not too bad, is it? Really?
It's not too bad at all. And also that's probably there'll be other people that go, no, I like the way it was done. Yeah. So it's not even like something, that's a personal opinion.
And even down to speeches and sponsors saying speeches, that was an element that was going to be in there. Initially it wasn't the hosts who were going to be reading out all the nominations. It was the sponsors.
Right.
There are sponsors who probably would have preferred to say it.
Yeah.
And that probably would have gave them a sense of more belonging in relation to the award. But then there's others who probably actually like, no, I don't want to say anything. I'm happy to go up and give him it. And
it's hard.
Everyone's different.
Absolutely, and you can't please everyone. But I'm looking at the whole evening from just my perspective, and that was probably the only sort of critique I would say. I thought everything else was done.
Food was good.
Food was excellent.
So I hear. I didn't get. I ate a quarter of my chicken breast, by the way, and that was all I had. Missed my cheesecake.
I probably robbed it.
You probably did, and that's my favourite. I wasn't happy about that actually.
Yeah, no, it was all really good. The table service for drinks coming excellent. Brilliant. Really everything. I thought honestly, I thought it was really good. Yeah.
And just a big shout out to Victoria Warehouse staff. They were on hand, and I'm talking from the morning of the awards before anybody was there, and I was there with 50 odd people running around like headless chickens doing everything. The staff have been phenomenal from beginning to end. So Victoria Warehouse staff, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, they were like very attentive. Everything was done really well. So that sort of moved the evening on from the award side of it, presented. I've got some questions from the viewers, so I put out for some questions. No, to be fair, they're all really really good, engaging questions. So I picked out some of the best ones. There was a lot more. So unfortunately, for everyone who's put in, I can't ask all the questions. I picked out what I think are quite relevant questions. So we'll do them in a minute, because I'd rather just talk through the whole structure of the evening. So we went from obviously from the awards, getting presented, to sort of like the after party side of it. So just again, for anyone that wasn't there, once the awards and everything were done, we then had our desserts, live band come on, sing, unbelievable.
Did you enjoy them?
Really good. Yeah. Really good. Loads of energy.
Platinum show band, for anybody that was wondering the name of them. Absolutely brilliant. Some of them travelled from Cardiff and other places like that to be there.
Right. Yeah.
But absolutely brilliant band.
Yeah, they had the room really engaged. Yeah. It was excellent. And then we moved into the back part of the warehouse, and where the bar area was. DJ then on.
DJ Tizzle.
And DJ Tizzle.
From Liverpool, actually.
Is he? Yeah.
Yeah. Scouser.
Brilliant.
Good guy.
And that's when the bow ties, and for me, I had a tie on my bow tie. That's when they all got a little bit loosened.
Yeah. Everyone let their hair down a little bit more. Yeah.
And if you want to see some absolutely unbelievable dance moves, go on the Padel Awards page and have a look at some of the dancing. There was some incredible dancing going on.
It was brilliant.
But for me, that was the part when I managed to be able to chat to people.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was really good.
And for me, that was the time when I actually started relaxing. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
For the whole awards ceremony, I was stressing. I wanted just things to go right.
Until the DJ went off for a second, and then you were stressing again.
Yeah. Until the music switched off. Yeah.
But they were unbelievable how quickly they cleared that room.
Absolutely. I know.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then it was the DJ, the music, and like I say, that was a good chance to then chat to people as well and go around and sort of introduce yourself.
But also, what was nice is I think, you're so used to seeing some of these faces on court, or you some of the people you've not met before, you've probably seen them from a professional standpoint online. But actually, to see everybody networking, but dancing and enjoying themselves, and such a relaxed setting. And I believe personally the best way to build those real strong relationships, even from a business level, is in a relaxed setting where it's not pressured.
Yeah.
You're not giving a sales pitch to anybody. It's just you're getting to know who they are. And I think that's the best way.
Well, it's brilliant because we talk about on this podcast quite often about the paddle community.
Yeah.
And it's one of the absolute key strengths of the sport. It's why it's growing. It's not just the sport is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's everything.
The social aspect as well.
It's so good for people meeting new people. Yeah. I had a lady message the page who's got into paddle off seeing our page, and then gone and joined the game with 3 other women.
Wow.
And now she's having coffees with them mornings and stuff. And it's just brilliant to hear, like someone that was sort of was not in the best place in terms of socially. They felt a little bit, and for them to connect with other people and stuff. So that whole community side of it is what's driving the sport, I believe.
This is it.
And then, like you say, that's what then filtered into that part of the evening.
Yeah, no, it really shone for everybody, seeing at one stage, I just kind of looked at everybody on the dance floor, and at the bar, everybody was just gelling together. We had some GB players in the room, and, it was just nice to see that everybody was there. There wasn't tiers of who's more important than the other, or it was just everybody's here. We've come for one thing. Here's our awards.
Everyone looking sharp.
Everyone looking sharp. Let's celebrate. And that was it.
No, it's brilliant. And I like, so it was honestly hats off to you, because the whole vision to do it, it's crying out for it. Yeah. And it's something that people I don't think realised they needed until you do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, we need that now. That's got to be every year without doubt. Like
this is it. And I said this to someone yesterday. I said that, sometimes you don't know you need something like that until it is put there. But I think that this awards platform now will help us to see every little move that we do within our own ventures, within our own podcast, within our own brands, within whatever we're doing. This will help all of what we're doing to feel more meaningful.
Yeah.
We'll feel like we're working towards something.
Sure.
Whether you're putting in a nomination for the awards and then you're not shortlisted as a finalist, who cares? You've had a platform to put it there, and well done for being nominated, first and foremost. And that's what I want everyone to remember for next year, because, there's going to be probably double the amount of people now putting in nominations, because paddle's growing in the UK.
Yes.
So, yes, we can only house so many finalists, and we can only house so many nominees, and we can only take so many votes. But however, I think that we just need to remember that we have a platform that's going to be there for us every year. And it's not just going to sit as an awards. I think some people have asked me what's next, and the British Padel Awards is the brand. And yes, we have an awards as an annual ceremony, which will take place. But throughout the year, we've got lots planned.
Right.
Don't for one second think I've done an event this big without looking at what's going to happen between it. There's other things that we've got planned that we're going to launch, networking events that will still allow people to raise the status within the sport.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So well, that leads me on. Actually, I'll jump into some of the questions, because one of the questions that we had was about your tournament event.
Yes.
And the question was, what makes your Cooper Cup event different to other paddle events?
That's a very good question. Well, the first thing that makes the Cooper or the BPA times Cooper Cup different is the fact that it's never been done before. It's the first British Padel Awards tournament.
Yes.
Now, for anybody that was at the event will know that it was done in a very premium way. It was done in, you know, an all guns blazing kind of way where everything that's happening there is amplified. And my vision for the tournament, it's an extension of the partnership between the British Padel Awards and Cupra. That's the first thing. But secondly, I want to create a tournament that really is able to house spectators in a different way. A tournament that's able to have everybody involved, from adaptive players to juniors to, you know, just your general players who want to get involved in a tournament to corporate teams that want to sign up. So in that first tournament, we're going to have various different aspects within that tournament.
Right, yeah.
You know, we're looking to cover over 9 courts, and it's going to be a long day.
So where's it going to be based? Have you announced that yet?
No, we haven't announced it just yet, but just know that it's a very well-known paddle club. Can't announce the location yet either, but it's a premium club.
Yeah.
And it will house a lot of players. You know, we're going for 100 players in this first tournament.
Yeah.
So it's quite a big tournament. So again, I think that's another thing that will make this different to others. You know, we were trying to reach that full capacity.
Yeah. Is it going to be like a weekend event or just on a particular day?
It is Saturday the 27th of June, so I can tell you the date. And yeah, I think what it's going to really bring to the paddle world, I think, yes, you're going to have your different types of games taking place. We've got Fast for Paddle, who are absolutely brilliant. They're going to be facilitating that whole day.
Right, brilliant.
Along with Matt, the paddle coach, who was one of our judges.
Yeah.
He'll also be facilitating it. But yeah, just expect big things. There's going to also be elements of the awards that will be there. Can't say too much on it, but there'll be elements of the British Padel Awards night and the gala that will be in the awards.
The synergy that runs into it.
Absolutely. And any brands that are becoming associated with it. We've had a very big brand who signed up today to be our first official partner. So we'll be announcing them, should be tomorrow.
It's not us, by the
way. So we're looking forward to getting them announced as the first official partner for the awards, and that will make sense why those people have become an official partner for it as well. So,
exciting times.
Yeah.
Watch this space. Well, you just touched on the judges, which leads on to another question.
Yes.
So one of the questions was, what was the judging criteria and how did you select the judges? So i.e., what was the judging criteria behind selecting the winners and how did you come about selecting the judges?
So yeah, in terms of, was that how were the judges selected, or what was the judging criteria?
Both. There was both in one question.
Well, what I will say is I'm not going to say too much on that because Matt, the paddle coach, was the one who really put that strict criteria together.
Yeah.
He knows it in a lot more depth.
Sure, yeah.
Due to his background and his knowledge around awards and judging. So what we will do is we will put up a video. Matt's actually got a video to explain the judging criteria. He was actually meant to go on stage during the night. That was another element that was missed out just due to time. He was going on stage to just highlight how the judges have come to the decisions they've come to. So what we will do later on in this week, even when the podcast releases, we'll put out a video off the back of that. And Matt can explain a bit more about the judging criteria.
Yeah, just to touch on that, obviously for anyone watching, obviously the judges were all experts in their field, so it's not just random.
No, they weren't selected just on a whim. These were people who are
well respected in the industry.
well known in the industry. In all different kind of capacities as well. Players, coaches, paddle enthusiasts, and different people like that. So all running their own initiatives within the sport. All located in different areas of the UK. Is the conflict of interest side of things that we had to really look at as well.
Is that a thing that you have to think of, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, the problem is with paddle in the UK is everyone knows everyone. Someone's linked to some brand or someone knows someone. So it was trying to select the right judges who didn't
Be
have
as
a club.
impartial as possible.
Absolutely, and, you know, wasn't an ambassador for a clothing brand who's part of it. It was just so I got a lot of slack for that one throughout the period, and people saying, well, how have these judges, you do know that this person is this person, and it was just, we had to be very, you know, careful about how we done that selection process, and
brilliant.
We've come out the other end.
Like I say, it's just one of those guys. I think it was a good question, and
brilliant question.
So what have we got? I think you answered this actually. When was the moment that you realised it's actually all worked?
Wow,
I think you said it was when you sat there in the back in the after party part, wasn't it? I think was that the moment.
The after party probably was that main time, but there was a couple of moments where I was standing just during the ceremony, you know.
So it was on the night where you felt like, oh, this has worked.
Absolutely. I mean,
I can imagine the tension lead up to. Wow.
When I turned up at the venue at about 12 p.m. midday, speaking to people on the phone on the way, I was on the motorway going to Manchester, and people were phoning, and the guy who does all my printing and done all the amazing banners, FC Printing, by the way, Andy, done an amazing job. He phoned me and said, mate, he said, there's a Scouser. He said, mate, there's like 50 people here running around doing everything, honestly. And I was thinking, oh my word. So when I got there and seen the venue being made up, and MSP, who'd done all the audio and visual, was setting up, and Cooper had arrived, the cars, the activation car, I just thought, wow,
badge
this
on
is
the stage
phenomenal.
was incredible.
But it wasn't at that point where I thought this is going to work, because no one had turned up yet. When I was actually in the awards and everybody came into the ceremony and was eating the starters, and the hosts had started and introed, I looked around and I seen everybody seem settled, and I thought, this could actually work.
Yeah.
We may actually get through this night and be able to say it was a success. So there were a few moments where I did look and think, I think we've done it.
We've cracked it. I think we've cracked it. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So that's great. So next one we've got, if you could change anything about paddle in the UK, what would it be? So it's not necessarily about the night, but just in general.
Just in general. Wow. So again, brilliant question. If I could change anything about paddle, oh wow. I think the only thing I'd say is, you know, have more clubs in more cities that need it, you know.
Yeah.
I think for this sport to drive forward into places like the Olympics, for paddle in the UK to start being televised. You know, I went to Belgium not too long ago for the Premier Paddle Tour. Wow. You know, I was sitting in a spectator seat, you know, tiered seating, and I was looking down at this court and watching people like Paquito Navarro play, and I was looking at it thinking that the level of play is unreal. But what was more impressive was the spectators, and just looking and thinking, they've all come for this.
Yes.
You know, that everybody wants to see this. So I think for me, I would love to see more clubs, more hype around the sport. I don't think we can get more hype than now, to be honest, but in a way where it starts to be recognized as something that needs to be televised, something that needs to become an official game, and, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's the only thing. I think everything else, I think the UK are really, gosh, I think we're front runners for quite a few things now. For
me, for what it's worth, for me, where I feel like we could push on, I think it's going to come. So one of the local schools is actually getting 2 courts built.
Brilliant.
And I think that's going to be the key driver to pushing on British Padel. So we've got a podcast with Anthony Hardman, and Anthony Hardman obviously was a tennis coach, and what he's really excited about paddle in the UK is, and this when he's coached people at tennis, he's not getting the first pick of the sport people. They're all going to football, or what he's excited about is that paddle's cool. Paddle's the dads will be into it, the mums will be into it. So he's going to get pick of a lot of really athletic children. And at that point, that's when it'll drive the sport massively in the country. That's what he thinks. And I think it does start from the school. I think if you've got that sport in school, I I don't think
Well,
kids will play it and
yeah.
not be addicted.
And I'm a big believer in that. As I say, you know, I work in education, being my background. So, you know, I've been in a school this morning working with some young kids. One of the boys there who I go to support, you know, we've got a little agreement that if his behaviour is good, I turn up with a racket. I turn up with a different racket every session I go each week on a Wednesday morning. And to be honest with you, I turned up with a racket today from Speedway Padel.
Yeah.
And he looked at it and he smiled. He's only 7.
Wow.
He's only 7 years old. And today he's on his 4th lesson with me now. I'm not a paddle coach, by the way, but I'm trying. But I've given him a paddle lesson. Every time he's had a good week, he knows he's going to get to play paddle.
Brilliant.
And the great thing about that is I walked into his classroom today and his teacher looked at me and said, "It's been brilliant."
Yeah.
And he started walking towards me and he looked at my racket and I gave him the tube of ball paddle balls, and he knew he gets a reward as an incentive now for doing good behaviour. So paddle in education, absolutely. I'm a massive believer in that. Obviously, you saw Jason Manford pick up an award that night. Massive shout out to Jason Manford as well, because with the Jason Manford Padel Academy, which I also sponsor, he is going into areas, you know, of deprivation, and he's allowing paddle to become more accessible for kids who may have an amazing skill set. No, but if nobody's there to actually uproot that, how is anyone going to know
the cost? Because it's the grey area in the room, isn't it? Paddle is quite an expensive entry to play.
Yeah.
So obviously getting that support, that's unbelievable, because you will tap into these kids who are going to absolutely love the sport and then take it on. So
that's it.
No, it's brilliant.
Great question.
Really good question. This is a decent one, interesting one. Did you at any point think about, or how did you contact any governing bodies to support the Padel Awards?
I contacted the LTA. I had an early conversation with them in the start, and you know, they're supportive of the idea, and there wasn't on board for this year's awards. Maybe next year. Yeah. You know, and we can look at seeing if there can be some kind of an association there. So, but I think it was important for people to see that this event was actually something. And I think the event's proven.
Give yourself some credit. It builds that credit, doesn't it? Behind
absolutely. And our door is always open for collaboration with whoever that may be. I think if the values align, and you know, we got some real strong values within the British Padel Awards now. We're very community driven. Like yourself, we're doing it for the people. And when I'm saying for the people, I'm talking about supporting everybody, giving everybody a chance to get in the space. If you love paddle and you're in that space and you feel you've got something to bring, the door's open. Yeah. And we can always entertain a conversation around how it could be linked to the British Padel Awards. So that's what I want people to know first and foremost. So governing bodies, we did contact the LTA, and that's still an open conversation of how that looks going forward.
I'd imagine as well, and I put words into your mouth, but imagine obviously you're wanting to actually launch the event and get it up and running. Yeah. When you're involved in governing bodies, and I'd imagine that would slow processes down as well in terms of getting stuff going, because there's a lot of red tape necessarily involved. So it gives you gets that entry to market a little bit quicker for you. So like you say, now you've got the event and you've got something to pick up and show them, then that'd be interesting.
Absolutely. And I think what this event is shown is that we've managed to do it regardless. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And we'll be able to do that regardless of that involvement year on year. Yeah. It doesn't change anything. Probably, would it give it more credibility? Absolutely, I'm sure it would. But everybody in that room last Saturday was there for each other and supported it in the way that a community should do it.
Absolutely. So that's it. Hit the nail on the head. Next one, decent question as well. To be fair, they're all good questions. Are you looking to add or remove any categories?
Absolutely. I don't want to say remove yet, because I feel like every category in there was valid. Done a great interview with the Padel Paper a couple of days ago, and highlighted that since I've launched the awards, or in the run up to the awards, once we had everything confirmed, people had messaged me and said, look, I haven't seen a category for this. This is what I do. And I said, you know, that's a valid point. You've got a brilliant idea there. And actually, that does have a place within the category list.
Yes.
What I will say is I don't think we're going to necessarily remove any, but what I do think we will do is we will change the titles of a lot of them. So the titles will then make it more broader as to who can enter that category, if that makes sense.
Yes.
This way, because let's be honest, we can't go over 20. I feel like after Saturday we can't go over 21 categories, because any more than that we'll be partying until 6 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. So I think what we're going to do is look at the titles in a bit more depth, work out what other things are closely related to certain titles, and then we can then look at it. Will broaden out the space for more people to be able to feel a part of it. Yeah, you know, I think
makes sense.
To give you an example, you know, you've got paddle installation and court companies. You know, I think that one was a brilliant one. I think we had a message through LinkedIn asking if there was a category for the construction people who get involved in that. Yeah. Not just the paddle court installation companies themselves, but actually
the people who install them.
The people who install them. Yeah. And it was a great point. So
maintenance companies as well, maybe as well, ones that maintain the courts.
Absolutely. So this is it. I think definitely best believe
making them a bit broader in categories so you can get more people involved.
So you can get more people.
Makes sense.
And that's what we're gonna do.
Brilliant.
So yeah.
And then I think this would be a fitting question to end on as well. So 2027, I'm sure you've been asked this a million times already.
Yeah.
Venue, location, anything locked down, anything sorted, or is it just
in the next 7 days we aim to lock something down. We were in talks about doing it at the same venue again. I think, you know, everybody seemed to love that venue. We loved it. I think while the iron's still hot, I think it would be nice to look at whether we do it there again, because I personally love the venue. And because it can house more people in there, there's still room to expand and have it much bigger. There's other spaces that people didn't see in that building. So I think it's not set in stone, but we could potentially be having it back in Manchester at the same venue. But nothing's set in stone. It could be somewhere else as well.
Yeah, so I think location-wise, like I say, I think it's a good location. I think because also transport links, obviously, from people coming from London and from South East makes it easy.
And if I could just highlight, we had we had 3 European sponsors there. We had a table, Loose Attendus, who specialise in canopies and things that they came over from abroad, from Porto. Yeah. We had LED Projects. Now they do the lighting for, I was told, 7,500 courts.
Wow.
They do the hexagon lighting. They're doing the lighting for the P1 coming to the Olympia in London. So a massive shout out to them who came over from Spain and Porto, and also Paddle Boost. He came on his own, but the founder, Merrill, he came over from Ireland. So it was very accessible for the flights as well. Yes. You know, Liverpool Airport and Manchester, there's a bit of a difference there. But it was really helpful having it at Manchester because of the flights.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Well, from me, I mean, unless you've got anything to add, anything that you want to mention or whatnot?
No, I just want to say thanks for having me on it. No. You know, it's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
This is actually the first podcast that I've properly kind of taken part in since the awards night itself. Off the back of its great momentum. I just want to thank everybody as well for putting out all of their content as well. It's been amazing to just
brilliant to
watch it back, to reshare it, to accept the collaborations online, and
get to relive the night again, don't you?
Yeah, literally.
It's great. No, look, for me, thank you very much for coming on. It felt really prevalent to get you on off the back of it. It was such a great event. Obviously, it's a hot topic in paddle at the moment. So we wanted to get you on and just discuss all around it. So appreciate your time.
Thank you, Michael.
And we'll tag all your links in the description below as well. So anyone that wants to get over and follow Instagram pages, everything, all the links will be below. And keep your eyes out for 2027 and the tournaments and everything that's coming up, because it sounds like there's a few exciting things coming up as well.
Yeah, we've got some things planned.
So keep your eyes open and have a great week on the court, and we'll see you on the next episode. Mate, you're a star. Thank you very much.
All right, mate.
Thank you very much.
Wicked. Really enjoyed that.